Cześć moi drodzy, witam was bardzo serdecznie. Dzisiaj ze mną jest gitarzysta młodego pokolenia, 30-letni Martin Miller prosto z Niemiec. Zapoznajcie się z jego muzyką oczywiście, bo naprawdę jest czego słuchać. No teraz zadałem mu kilka pytań, no i zobaczymy, co ciekawego się dowiemy. Hello Martin.
Hey man, how's it going?
So first of all, tell me about your musical inspirations. What guitarists are the gods to you?
There are a couple ones. I mean, I always keep expanding, but there's a couple ones that will always remain my dear favorites, and some of them are Pat Metheny is a huge inspiration. So is Steve Morse, John Petrucci, Scott Henderson, Steve Lukather, Eric Johnson, Mike Stern, those kind of guys. Too many to name, so I'm sorry if whenever I do this, I always regret missing out certain people. So that's a tough one. The good ones sometimes they slip my mind. So yeah, those ones are definitely a massive influence on what I do.
Why instrumental music? Why instrumental stuff? Maybe the majority, I think, want to be the part of the band, where's the vocalist and stuff like that. Why instrumental?
The question should be, why not instrumental? It's just a different form of expression. Obviously, people who do music like this, they use their instruments to express their thoughts or feelings. And I think it's an interesting thing because with the absence of lyrics or vocals, the feeling you portray or the thoughts you portray are more abstract and not as in your face. And the interpretation is more open for the listener. So I think it's a very interesting thing to express yourself through something like an instrument. With that being said, I also love vocal music, and actually I'm always on the lookout for a good singer because I've written a couple of tunes in the past years that I really want to put out with full band and singer. And yeah, so you singers out there who are kicking ass right now, please get in touch. I'm happy to do a project.
For sure. Yeah. What is your recipe to develop your guitar ability, musical ability, as fast as possible? What is your recipe? How to practice, how to deal with music to make a big progress?
Recipe for practice. There is no real recipe. I think we're all a little bit different, but there are certain things that I think could help anybody. Here's a little trick that I've kind of made my own. Like if you're starting your practice session, the thing we do usually is we run through exercises, like stupid finger exercises that don't really mean a thing, which is good if you just need to get your hands warmed up before a gig or something. But if you have actual time, we as humans, we have a very short attention span. So we have the biggest amount of focus and concentration during the first 20, maybe 30 minutes of practice. So instead of using that practice time to warm up your muscles, which requires next to no work of the brain, right? I would use that time to work on something intellectual, something, or learn something new, figure something out, try to understand something. So while you're in a good, attentive spirit, try to do something for your brain, not just for your fingers. That's a good one. Other than that, expose yourself to good musicians. Hang out with good musicians. Learn from them. Absorb their energy and their thoughts and their doings. And for me, it was always helpful to work with a teacher for an extended period of time. Like with one guy who really knows what's going on. And to have regular lessons with him and to follow his advice. That's really helpful.
What do you think about career? How to develop career nowadays? We have many channels of communication like YouTube, the whole internet. How it looks like in practice today?
Well, there's still plenty of musicians that I've known for a while now, and they don't care about those things. They just do their thing as if that didn't exist. So there's certain career types that don't require internet promotion or those sort of things. So if you're a regular gigger or a teacher or something, you don't need to worry about those things. However, if you're trying to have sort of a solo career, it's really helpful to expose yourself through those kind of mediums. It's almost a necessity nowadays. The thing is, I wouldn't get caught up with it too much. You know, a lot of people think YouTubing is the only thing I do, when reality is it's just a fraction of what I do. Like, I've been practicing and performing musician for longer than YouTube existed. So that's, for me, it's actually just an addition. It's a very helpful addition, so I definitely gain a lot from it, but I don't base my career around it. So I try to make a good use of it, but I'm not trying to worry about it too much. But yeah, just let people know what you're up to, do good work, and hope that it's gonna catch fire and people will start following you and gain interest. The thing is, though, there's an element of frustration in it, because there's so many people doing it right now, and it's hard to just stand out from the masses. And the thing is, those who are successful with these things, they're the ones that went through all the pain and through all the frustration. So if for the first 3 years you barely gain any clicks, barely gain any attention, you still keep doing it, because that's what it's been like for me. It's only been for few years now that people started picking up on what I do. Before that, I was kind of frustrated because I was putting out so much stuff and nothing really happened. But I stuck with it because I knew that it was something that could help me. So yeah, stick with it and don't worry too much.
What are your plans for future? What are you doing right now? Musically, of course. Musically.
Yeah, let's keep the private stuff at home. Right now, I'm on tour with Vinyl Distributions, who are distributing Ibanez guitars in Poland, Hungary, Germany, those kind of countries. They've organized a tour for me, which is awesome. So I get to do a lot of workshops. I think 17 workshops this month alone, which is incredible. We're actually in Poland right now, as you may know. And I'm supporting Andy Timmons a little bit, which is awesome. He's playing right now. I can barely focus on what I'm saying because the playing is so damn good, coming through the walls. I hope you can hear it. Other than that, I'm just gonna start lecturing and teaching at Dresden College of Music next month, which is where I graduated. I'm doing a CD with Tom Quayle that is in the final stages. I'm playing gigs, doing session work, recording an album for a great Hungarian drummer right now, Gergő Borlai, who's phenomenal. Yeah, writing a couple of tunes as well, trying to come up with some new stuff. Yeah, there's plenty of stuff going on. I'm also doing some new projects for Jam Track Central, which is quite a big part of what I do.
You tell us something more about Ibanez. Oh, yeah. Why Ibanez? Why Ibanez? Tell us something more about your gear.
Well, I gotta tell you, sorry, the Ibanez endorsement is quite a new thing. It came about this year around March, April. I was playing at the NAMM show in Anaheim, which is near Los Angeles, in January, at the Laney amplification booth, who I endorse, and they endorse me, and they are a brilliant company. I love to work with them. And they actually dragged some of the people from Ibanez over to check out my performance, and I was lucky enough that they saw it and they liked it, so they got in touch with me, and the rest is history. Here I am playing Ibanez. So happy about it, because I've been an Ibanez fan forever. You know, I've owned plenty of Ibanez's in the past, and now to be an official part of the whole thing, that's incredible. I mean, and they were just so incredibly supportive. I mean, they're one of the best companies you can possibly work with. Seriously.
Maybe you will tell us something more about this model.
This particular instrument, yeah, that's like my go-to guitar for all the touring stuff. You know, because it's a stock model. It's a limited run, but it's a stock model, and the build quality is insane. But I'm also, because it's not a custom model, I'm not too worried about it getting hurt or getting some dents. You know, it's a workhorse. It's a true workhorse. That's why I love having it on tour. It's a bass wood body, maple top, maple neck, rosewood fingerboard. Sorry, I'm getting distracted by the amazing music coming out of this, room. Original edge tremolo, DiMarzio tone zone humbucker, DiMarzio Air Norton humbucker. Very thin neck, super easy to play. Tall frets, and you know, it kind of does everything with the split positions and everything. I can play my fusion stuff with it, some heavy stuff as well. It's an insane rhythm guitar in the studio if you're playing rock rhythms and those kind of things. It's got an insanely tight sound. But I can also fake my way through a jazz gig with it somehow. Not for purists, but it's enough for me for what I do. So that's a brilliant guitar, and I got plenty others at home now. So I always got the right guitar for the job, no matter what it is.
You are presenting your abilities on stage, doing a clinic, but you play alone. How does it feel to play alone, only with backing track?
Well, it can be a bit strange. Of course, I prefer to be on stage with human beings and have an interaction and have musical interplay. But you know, it's a necessity. You just can't bring your band over here. It just doesn't make sense logistically, financially. So I'm actually glad there is the opportunity to be playing with backing tracks, even though it's not quite the same thing, and it's far from the same thing. But man, this show is more about the guitar side of things, and we have a lot of guitar players in the audience, and they enjoy it, and that's the main thing. It's kind of odd to be standing on stage alone. I'm not usually the guy who tries to hawk the limelight. I'm also happy to just be part of a bigger thing. Yeah, but and it's quite a challenge, not only to play but also to fill the stage, you know, persona-wise and stuff. Like Andy does amazingly well. Like you don't miss anybody on stage. Like he takes the whole room and creates good energy with it. Yeah, that's the main challenge actually, which is at least as hard as the playing bit.
Okay, so thank you very much for the conversation. Dziękuję wszystkim bardzo za wytrwanie do końca. Pozdrawiam.